Okay, what a better way to start my video with my inventions here. I'm taking the boards off my fence that were in the back. They were made out of red oak. 43 years ago I put it up. And see how it's got damage in the middle section there, that one board? Well, that's what they look like. On the other side, you get sections on the board that, like, say down here where this line begins, where the nails are, all the way up to where the other two nails meet. If you turn the board over, you got this. Okay. So I cut between those nails, and that is pristine. That is the wood that I just made this out of. And wait till you see this. This is gorgeous. It's not complete yet because I got to sand it down and shape it and everything. But I just got the finish on it. Stain and all. Oh man, this thing is gorgeous. Once I get it all carved down and all these edges taken off, and then the final coat goes on to where you don't have those indentations. See how over in here there's kind of like indentations? Well, when I pour it on there again, after this is completely dried, which will be another day, because I just did this last night, and I put aluminum foil around it, all the way around, and I lift the edges up a little bit, so because when I pour it in there, then I move it around with a sponge brush, and then let it settle, and let it dry. And then you come out with a rough, this is all rough right now. These things all have to be taken off. This stuff here. All this taken off and sanded down. This is not finished with, it's only got one coat of that polyurethane on this side, which this side has, this is the third coat. Yeah. I put one beginning coat on it and let it dry, and then I put another one on it pretty thick, let that dry for 4 hours, and then I poured this on it last night and moved it around with my brush that I use to do this with. All right, now I could have, and I still might do it, just make this right here not as shiny as this up here. I'm going to take this down with a router again. I'm going to re-router it and take it right down and restain it because it's too light compared to the top. I didn't realize, see, because I didn't plane the top of this board. I sanded it. So I kept all the grain and everything in it. I could do a better job than this, but I'm in a hurry. You know, I want to see what this is going to look like, so I'm doing everything quick and fast. Not if I took time to do it, which I'm gonna. And after I do this one and see what it comes out with, and I say, wow, if I really took the time now to do something like that, I'd know how you put the aluminum foil on, you know, all the way around it, because I couldn't get it off of. I'm going to have to hit it with the sander or something. See, the aluminum foil is still stuck to it and it won't come off. I got to get a little pick. I'm not going to bore everybody with that, but I get that off. But I had aluminum foil going all the way around the whole board, sticking up about that high. And I did pour up to this high right here, almost. That's from my brush going into the crevice, following the crevice and everything. So it made that little ridge. If I hadn't have touched it, it would have probably been just smooth. But I can still take it down with sandpaper now. Once it's dry, I take it down, then I buff it. After it's dried, you take it down, and then you buff it. And that's where the expertise comes in, because I've never done that. I've gone this far with this type of material. It's a epoxy resin. I do have another synthetic material that I'm using on my other shelves that I built that blends in, and it's not shiny like this, but it preserves the wood and blends into it and gives it that look that you need, for something that is really. This piece of wood right here, you can't buy. I mean, you can go and buy red oak, plane it down and do real nice stuff to it and everything. But the look, you're not going to get a look like this in the top of that wood. And this just should have been sanded down a little bit more, but I was in a hurry, like I said. I should have sanded it down more than I did, but it still looks good. It still looks good, and I still got another coat to put on this. And I'm going to change the router here. I got a nice big router, brand new router. I'm going to take and router that right on, put it in a nice little router vise. I'm going to router that right out. We just bought a brand new microwave. It's the second one that we've had in a couple years. I don't know, the Chinese are coming out with all kinds of stuff, and you gotta pay a little bit more for them if you want a good quality one, because the rinky-dink stuff, here's a rinky-dink one. Here, we couldn't even read the numbers on this to know what to push if the lights were off. You couldn't even know what to push to make this thing go. You had to guess, oh, that's about the area that I gotta push. But this is still good. It just has some components in it that I have to check it out. I'm into that. So I'm going to check it out. I bought a meter and everything last week, but I just haven't gotten to this. I got a lot on my plate that needs to be done besides fooling around with electronics. I can do that in the wintertime. That would be a good project. I can look it up on the internet, go in there and feel like I'm a technician. I've been doing it for years after watching the videos and everything. That's what I do. I got that ability to do that. I got that aptitude, they call it. I am an industrial arts certified school teacher, New York State, retired. But it was only a provisional for 5 years. Then you had to have your master's. And when I went back to get my master's, I'd been kicked in the shins so many times from that job. I said, nah, it ain't worth it. So I went and got my real estate license. Was a real estate salesman for 5 or 6 years. Then I went back and I went through the broker school and I got my broker's license. I've been a broker 13 years. Then I called it quits. I fell off the scaffolding and broke my back just about. I mean, I have a picture on the internet. I don't know where it is. I've been trying to find it, but it was on there at one time, of my butt and the bruise on my butt. My butt is got a football bruise on it, and it's not just a bruise. It's black and blue and red, and it's where I broke my back, really. They call it compression fracture, where you don't really break anything, but man, you break everything around it, all the blood vessels, everything. You got a back injury there. That is not a broken bone. It's a lot of other stuff. And that's what I'm suffering from now, my back. I've got too much weight. I've lost 125 pounds on this new program, New York State. I just got back on it. I'm hoping to lose more. I'm hoping to be down into my 220s today. I haven't weighed myself, but last night I was like 230.2. I said, oh, I'm almost down in the 20s. All right. Because I was down to 228 from 353 down to 228 on the liquid marijuana program I was on. So it got me active. The liquid marijuana made me creative. I wanted to build, and I had so much to do, and I just didn't do it because I wasn't motivated. And when I got on this liquid marijuana, it started me doing stuff. I got interest if I could put up with the pain. And so they gave me some hydrocodone, and only one every 8 hours. I make that work. I make that work. I mix it in with my liquid marijuana. I'm giving up smoking. I'm not saying I'm giving it up. I'm not going to smoke flower much anymore. Because I have some and I don't want to throw it out. I want to give it away because you can't give it away. Well, no, I bought this. I bought my flower and it wasn't on the liquid marijuana program. I bought that legally in the stores. You go in the store and buy it legal now. Before, everything was paranoia. Oh my God, I remember I used to love to smoke it, but I didn't do anything bad on it. Anything that was unholy. I just liked to do things when I was smoking it. And I got in some trouble a couple times. It's on some of my films. I was set up with it one time with the police. They set me up, and they were going to take and expose me to the community, and what happened is in my tape. You'll have to search through my tape to find out. I'm not telling that story again. I bared a lot in my life on my history of myself. And the only thing I don't tell you is my prayer between God and myself. One time I did pray to God on a video. And I don't know, maybe I made a mistake doing that. But when I pray to God, I pray with my heart. I pray with my tears. They are the desires of your heart. Your tears are the sweat of the desires of your heart. And God gives them to you. If you have empathy, you have tears, oh, God will melt when he listens to you. It's a gift. It's a holy gift. Our mother had it, especially when Jesus was laid in her arms after he was crucified. You want to see the gift of tears? Wash the face of Jesus. There it was. And angels witnessed it. And they were converted. This is why God loves humanity. This is why God loves humanity. God loves humanity because he loves his mother more than he loves anything. Some say, oh, he's a mama's boy. You bet he is. And I want to be his best friend or a good close friend and be a mama's boy's helper. Yeah, that would be a privilege. I'll eat the crumbs off the table if they let me hang around like that. I'll be their pet dog. If they want to pet me every day, I'll be their pet dog. Metaphorically speaking. I don't want to be changed into a dog. But I'm just talking in metaphors. That's how God talks to everyone in metaphors. He lets things happen in your life, and then years later you think about what happened, and you say, oh, there you were, Father. I didn't even recognize you. That's if you're living a holy life. He opens up the door for you, so you can see and experience him working in your life. Like 43 years ago, he allowed me to build a fence out in the back of my house when I lived in a trailer out of red oak. Now, today, you don't build a fence out of red oak because it costs you a fortune. You know, they're all doing it with hickory and pine and hemlock. And I don't know if hickory, hemlock though. Hemlock and pine is mainly what they're building a lot of stuff out of today that's outdoorsy stuff. It's not red oak. And if they do, whoever owns one of those buildings, and it's a barn or anything, you've got a $1 million fortune sitting right in your lap, and you don't even know it. Because those boards are weathered hundreds of years, maybe, or more. They were part of the barn. You take those boards off and plane them down, you get this. Here's what you get. Oh, yeah. It's not the best it could be because I'm just using this as a metaphor example. But look at, I mean, there's where the crevices are filled in with my first coat. I didn't put a second or third coat on the back. It's stained, but I got this stuff that has to come off with sanding. And I've got it so I don't have to have a holder. This screws every 16 inches on center. These, I use them, what do they call them? The cord pocket screws or whatever. I use them. I don't have to have things holding my shelves up because this goes right into a 2x4. Screws into it. So you got this with nothing as a support under it. You say, how's that thing being supported with all that plants and everything on it? They don't know. You've got a 3.5-inch screw, pocket screw with 3/4 inch in showing, and it goes into the wall. The other, what is it, 3 inches almost, into that 2x4. It's not going anywhere. Well, these boards are precious to me. I've got 100 of them there, and they're going to be used for my Kenya fund. I'm going to make them first. I'm not going to take orders because I don't want to promise something that I don't know. Maybe God's going to call me to Israel with my guitar and I won't be able to do this anymore. So who knows? I don't know. You guys haven't heard me play my guitar yet either, have you? Okay. Well, we'll let you do that. I play more than a guitar. I play guitar, and that's my guitar was mainly after classical guitar with who can I compare myself to, but humbly, because he's way far above my head, is Michael Talbot, John Michael Talbot. I love his songs. He's a Franciscan Third Order too, which I'm a postulant for 40 years. I've been a postulant. They said, well, we want to look at you for a couple years here before we let you in. So you're a postulant. And I said, okay, that's fine. And I understand. They didn't know me. And once they knew me, I mean, I started playing their retreats, and they were looking at us, and they liked us so much they wanted to pay us. And that's our mistake we made. We took money. They paid us. They offered it. And we took it. Because we're not rich. And my wife was working for minimum wage for 30 years for St. Cyril's, and she had a 4-year degree. She could have been a doctor. And she was. She was a theologian sitting right in front of everybody with a 4-year degree. And instead of going to the priest, a lot of people went to her. Because she was a good DRE, Director of Religious Education. She gave good counsel. Whoever discovered it. I ruined a lot of her potential, I think, because I'm in my hometown and I'm not a prophet in your hometown. Everybody knows everything you did. And a lot of people are negative about unholy experiences. And when I was a young teenager, I had a lot of those unholy experiences. Even though I had holy experiences, I did participate in unholy experiences. So I asked God for forgiveness. And when I was 21, I got a picture of me playing the guitar. I committed my life to God when I was 21. I'm 74 almost now. My wife just had her 74th, and she's 5 months and 25 days older than me. So it's sad, but my mother told me the other day, oh, she plays in my mind all the time, because I'm always mentioning, I married an older woman and this and that. So my mother, 90-some years old, she goes, Bill, I want to tell you something. And, I never told you this, but you're actually 1 year older than what you are right now. We had to fix the papers. My mother's telling me this on the phone. She's 90 years old. We had to fix the papers so it didn't look bad. I didn't want to look like I got married because I had to or anything like that, you know. She's filling my brain with this stuff. I think it's a big bullcrap story anyway. She's just playing with me. I'm going to relate whatever happened to her are in my stories. I tell everything that happened to her. And then when I do remember things that she told me that happened to her, I tell them too. But the one main thing that she did that I remember was being drugged from a church because of the color of her skin. She was dark complected. They were Italians. And you don't go and mingle with the Swedes and the Irish and, you know, the light-skinned, blue-eyed, beautiful people. You don't mingle with them back in the 1930s and 1800s and stuff. There was a lot of prejudice in those days. And the Italians and the Irish really didn't get along too good, even though my mother married one, and that's what I am. Let me see. You want to see what I look like? Oh, I'm going to surprise myself because I just got up. I felt I had to do this. Oh my goodness. Was that a hole in the middle of my forehead? That's my invention. These glasses, until I get a new pair, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I haven't got my prescription yet. I keep on wanting to go, but I got Parkinson's. I forget the appointment, and I don't go. So now I got old glasses that I'm wearing, and that's where I'm at now. I got to talk sideways because that's the way everything is. But I've got chaos. But believe it, in my mind, it's organized chaos. See, clippers. Let's see. Downstairs, there's 30 buckets down there. It's in the last bucket on the left hand side of the room against the wall where the internet's coming in. They're in there. Don't I wish? I gotta look through all 30 buckets if I want to find them. That's why I'm trying to get my shop organized. It's all over the place. And I've got a show here, guys. I gotta make videos making wood projects. And I'm not only wood, I am metal. I'm an industrial arts teacher. Certified, New York State. You want to watch my films? You'll learn something. I guarantee you. If you can put up with me, because I'm weird. I'm extremely religious. Wherever I go, I've got to see a picture of Jesus. If I don't want to be there. So, Saint Charbel, he looks something like me. I see pictures of him. I don't know. I get a paper bag. I don't know what he did. I got a lot of Irish humor in there. I'm gonna make a character right in front of your face. I don't know what this character is gonna look like. And I hope it makes you laugh so hard you're rolling on the floor. Because I want to spread God's joy, not condemning the world for their sin. You want to do that? Look up narcissists and see what human beings shouldn't be. And follow that. If you don't want to be Christian or don't want to believe in God, He's given us a way out. You can look at what a narcissist is and point out everything about you. And then it helps you if you're going to get married, too. Because you can spot a psychopathic narcissist and run like the Dickens. Run, Father says. Don't try to marry them or convert them because you'll have a life of misery because they're manipulative, they're controlling, and they're charismatic, and they're beautiful. psychopathic narcissist. And then there's sociopathic narcissist. I don't care what the world thinks about me. I don't care about that child in that womb. I don't care if it's crying or not when I rip its arm and leg off. I'll just chop its head off, too. Those type of people are psychopathic and sociopathic. And they got degrees, and they're smart, and they have lots of money. Because why? They do what the devil wants them to do. He's got his children, and God has his children. And we're in a big fight. Every day the Jezebelies are flashing their belly buttons in my face, trying to get me to say, later for this, no more celibacy for me. 24 years, I've had it, I'm done. I'm going to go look for a younger woman and get married. And maybe she's got 2 or 3 kids already, and they're beautiful. They got big, beautiful eyes. They're ready to be molded, and I'm going to mold them. I'm going to mold them in Jesus. I'm going to be a Uncle Grandpa to my friends' children. I never had any children, so I can't be a grandpa. But I have a lot of grand nephews and nieces on both sides. On my brother, on my side of the family, and my wife's side of the family. And I have just become the elf. I'm the elf. My sister Nancy just died. God bless her. I'm praying for their soul. God said that if I'm his, he'll save my whole family, and I claim Nancy and Jim as my family. So God, if he doesn't judge the way they think he was going to judge, they got me as a backup. Okay? Because I testify, I say, they were good people. Yes, they were. They had their moments. I mean, they didn't have complete peace, but they put up with each other. They did. They loved each other. They did. They had a child. Finally, after trying and adopting, then they had one. God bless them. Okay, now, this is the peekaboo look. Let me see. I don't know, what do you think? Saint Baghead? Hey, that's a perfect name. I got the hat and everything to go with it. Saint Baghead. All right. Bagging. Here I am, Saint Baghead, bagging for the kids in Kenya. The poor little children are being eaten by the crocodiles. 100 cases a year. Father James Kariuki from Kenya. One of those little towns down in there. I got the name. NJOR something. I can't remember the whole name of the town he's from, but he's from Kenya. He's got a charity down there. If you look hard enough, you'll be able to find it. Help him out. We need fresh water wells up and down both sides of the river. Because it's a drought down there, and the water's down, and there's a lot of animals that depend on the river. And one of those animals is the crocodile. Not the alligator, the crocodile. 22 feet, 25 feet. Weighed more than my Ford Ranger truck. Weighs more than that. And they're hungry. And they're protected. So what they do is when the herds don't come over and they're hungry, they spot out what game is available and human beings are a new acquired taste. You know, they check you out, look, watch every move you make, how you get your water, where do you go to get it, because we have habits. We're habitual human beings. So the gator, not the gator, the crocodile. I don't want to mistake a gator. Gator's only 16 feet long at the biggest. 17. I've seen them up 20. Gators. I've seen them swallow. Gators swallow big, huge python snakes that are down there now. They're as big as my head. That's how thick they are. They get in a fight with the gator, try to choke the gator out on how big the gator is. The snake can be the winner, or the snake can be the loser. I don't know who can hold their breath longer, the snake or the gator, but when he takes and falls limp and drags the snake down and just hangs onto it until it drowns, he's got to be able to hold his breath for a long, long time, longer than the snake. And then he's got quite a tasty meal, because there's no acquired taste with snake. That snake is good to crocodiles, alligators. They love snake. That's a delicacy. That's like us going and getting, what kind of a fish? Eels. People like eel. People like to eat eels. I've had some that's very tender, very tasty, if you mix it and cook it right. Steam it, bake it and stuff. I know I have a secret about my trout that I get. Brookies, they're only 6, 8 inches. What do you do with that little thing? You eat that, that's your meal. Yeah, half a dozen of them baked in the oven for 45 minutes to an hour on medium heat, 350, 325, somewhere around there. Just until you can pick them up and pull the skin off of them. That's what I do. I pick them up by the bone. The bone's still in them. And I pull the skin off. These are little brookie trout now. You can do it with any fish, really. And then you take and start peeling the meat away from the bone and shake it. And it will fall right off the bone. You'll stand there with a skeleton in your hand. You put that over to the side. Now you got a little pile of pink trout, brook trout. And you put 6 of them together. You got a nice little pile. And you add your egg and your flour and your mix and your seasonings and stuff like that. I like butter. I like cooking them in butter. Once I make a patty on them, put a little bit of garlic, a little bit of onion, a little bit of everything, in it. Mix it right up, make a ball, and then flatten it right out into a patty. And now you got half a dozen patties. And they are delicious. Oh, man. I'm going to make a movie on getting some brookies. I haven't gone brooking this year. I didn't get my license. I forgot. I'm going to get it this September. I'm going to start living a little bit. Getting on the streams. I plan on doing all that. Maybe God's got a different plan. But I'm going to try to turn things around and be this type of face. You gotta be this type of face. Just give me a minute. might have made you wait too long. Uh-oh. I might have made you wait too long, but I'll get my point across. Let me see. Okay.